Individually, I like to be frank in whatever I say, and I'll do my best to be frank as much as I can.
Okay.
Please remember to share the program, please. Wherever you're looking at it, share the program.
Very important. Very, very important. Very important.
So it can reach people.
Yeah.
On the personal level or individual level of us Africans,
Okay.
it's good. It's good in the sense that depending on whatever you came to look for, there are some who are here for knowledge, that is schooling. There are some who are here for learning crafts.
Right.
There are some who are here for living, to live, to make their life better on the individual level.
Okay.
So I would say green, depending on the way you look at it. If your today is better than your yesterday, there is a success. There is a little bit of shift.
There's a movement.
There's a movement.
Of success, actually. To say,
depending on how you see it.
How you see it, yeah, okay.
For instance, when you used to be jobless at home, I like to be frank, when you used to be jobless at home and you move to another person's country, it is not bad to move from where you are to another place.
To migrate.
To migrate. It's not bad to do that. But when you do that, does it up to you and where you are from? It depends on the priority of the individual. Some care about themselves only.
Right.
They don't care about where they are from, their home. Some also look at it from two angles, themselves and home.
Okay.
You understand? So, whatever, it is being greener in terms of knowledge, because the more you travel and learn, the better.
You know why I asked you this question, if it's been greener. There are people who have lived, and left their country for like 20 years.
Good.
In search of this greener pasture in another person's country. And after a couple of years, they turn out to tell you, oh, everything is the same, same thing, same old thing. Every day you wake up to the same thing. Are they kind of getting fed up, or there is something still not complete with those people? Because I can tell you, people back home, quite all right, we have those problems with bad governance and all that, which everybody knows.
Yeah.
The job opportunities doesn't come that much.
Yeah.
We have a lot of populations, but we have relatively less place for those people to make their ends meet, right?
Good.
And in diaspora, people in diaspora tells people at home, for example, oh, it's very difficult here.
True.
It's very difficult, but they don't believe it. So when you're expressing, because I can tell you, I know from experience from other people who spend, their whole lifetime here doing some real hard jobs, like the night shift thing, doing the whole night thing. I mean, that is really, really typically tough for anyone. And then you now try to explain those situations to people back home, but they don't seem to understand it. For them, they think that everything here is green.
You're trying to stop them from coming.
From coming.
Oh, yeah.
They think everything is green. In this position, if I should tell you to please step in and address this issue so that people back home can have a little bit understanding on how things works out here. Because I will tell you that not everything that glitters is gold.
Of course.
That word stays.
Of course.
Even in the process of searching for the greener pasture, not everything you see is green. Is pasture. Not everything that is green is that pasture you're talking about. So if I should ask you to please step in this boat right now and take the wheel.
Okay, look at it from this angle. It's like I keep saying, it's a matter of priority.
Okay.
You see, at home, let's be frank. If you have the discipline we go here, what we go here, it's difficult, but it's discipline. You survive it through discipline. You bear with me. There are people you came with. Today they've given up and they've gone back.
Right.
Because they are not ready to go through that discipline, that stages. Because nothing is achieved on the silver platter here.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where you come from. Because here they program their system that you have to work to survive. And this work should take you some process of discipline. For instance, let me give you an example. When you have an appointment here, let's say for a job, you and I know at home, most of us reach there giving excuses because we are late.
Right.
But here, nobody tolerates that.
Right.
So when you come with that perception from home, thinking that, oh, because here is greener and you're going to get it on a silver platter, it's a lie. You have to be disciplined to survive.
Talking about this discipline, is it that we Africans back home are not disciplined to certain levels? Because I know that a lot of people who are educated understand the principles of being disciplined. That you have to take something serious to make an ends meet, or you have to work to eat. I think a lot of people know that. But what is the difference? What makes that different?
Listen, discipline can be defined in different form. Consistency.
True.
The ability
True.
to always be on time. No matter how the obstacles is. For instance, you're supposed to start work at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
You have to wake up. When you know, for instance, I'm talking about home. Sometimes we use the traffic, the traffic to give excuse. Oh, there's a traffic. You know it's 3 o'clock you're going to start work. Why don't you leave at home from 1 o'clock? 2 hours, knowing that, within this
space of time.
You understand? Because let me tell you something. You can be knowledgeable, you can be an expert, but if you don't respect the principle of time, you lose it.
Absolutely. Okay, now, let me go to this. I have here prepared, it said, the Africans diaspora has contributed in important ways to the economic development of many countries, as well as social, cultural, political innovations of global significance. Now we're talking about the Africans in diaspora. Now let's concentrate on the Africans in diaspora. We have come, right? We didn't just come like that. We brought something with us.
Of course.
Now, the thing that we brought with us, I think, is also one of them is perseverance, right? And the ability to accept, appreciate. All those things makes up the bags which we brought into us. Now, we have affected anywhere we are. If you can see, just take, for example, Germany was just full of, bunch of, their own people, the white race. Then come the African, the black, they bring this culture. It's just like when you take flowers and mix flowers, it becomes more beautiful. Do most of these people see the color, the beauty which diasporas bring into their system? Do they appreciate it also, or they just like, we are your host, you are our guest, so you take whatever we give to you? But you understand what I'm trying to say?
I get you.
We bring something to the table, but in your own mind, because outside there are a lot of people like they don't value us, they don't care about us,
my brother, Kali, listen. I always like to treat these topics on an individual level because we didn't come with the same package in hand.
Right.
You came with a different package, I came with a different package.
Right.
Whatever you bring in your hands, when it is valuable, you will be treated with respect.
True.
Your handcraft and your knowledge. True. When you come with it, listen, knowledge, expertise, there's no disrespect in that corner. But when you come empty, you'll be treated empty the way they want.
That means you try to say that when you bring something to the table,
and
between somebody who did not bring nothing to the table,
you will be treated the way they want you to be. Like they choose the way they should treat you. Let me give you a typical example. Compare us in Africa. I'm not saying all of us, because there are a lot of African expertise in diaspora. The medicals, engineers, researchers who are being treated like gold, and you know that.
High class profile.
But the problem is the masses that come are normally not treated the way they're supposed to be treated, because what they bring is there's no value in what they bring. The reason why a country like China, when they come to any country, when you put 10 Chinese in any country, 7 survive and are being respected dearly because they are branded as expertise in technology. They are branded as expertise in food in terms of their how they package and send their dish.
Okay, so in that, let me just bridge in. Let me just jump in right there. So you're like when you bring Chinese people, you know they're being treated according to the profile and the country's image gives to them.
What they created to the world.
Exactly. So that means that in as much as you can come with individual package, but there is still a stigma coming behind you that they are looking. It's just like you are here, but they would like look above you to see what is backing you up.
Of course.
And if that thing, your background, that thing that is showing at your background is not solidly enough, they will refer you to that. You know, they will reference you to that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one of the countries in Africa, for example, that has a very, very bad profile. So when you identify yourself from this part of Africa, that stigma still follows you. In as much as you are personally a good person, but there is a stigma that follows you
Mr. Kali, what you're saying is there. It's a fact.
Okay.
It's a fact. I'm not disputing the fact. But you see, each and every one is an ambassador from where he or she came from.
Ambassador of itself,
yes,
so to say.
So, for instance, there are countries that when you're doing business with, no matter how just you've been or how sincere you've been in your business or how successful you've been in the business, sometimes the country you come from is also a plus. Reason why wherever you go, you have to leave a legacy of positivity that represents your country. Because let's have this in mind that whatever you do outside, let's say I'm a Ghanaian national, whatever I do outside represents where I'm from. So I should do it right.
Okay, coming to that aspect now, putting a nail on that point now. Whatever you do reflects
where you're from.
Where you're from.
Good.
Now, if you do something good, it reflects also from where you're from. Let's use something good for example. Now, you and I know that most of our countries in Africa, they don't even appreciate what we are doing in diaspora. Now, let me tell you, according to research, I knew that people in diaspora remit yearly as much as billions of dollars.
Of course.
Now, you ask yourself, where all this money gone to? What have they used it for? They make money on every diaspora working class here.
Fact.
They make money on every one of us here.
Fact.
But when you go back home, even when you tell them, they don't even, even when you tell them, like, I think people in diaspora are supposed to be accorded a kind of respect.
It's true.
From your back home.
Of course.
When you go home, they're supposed to see you like somebody who went, like, you went on the war front, right? They put you on the war front. You went for something.
And you are winning for them.
And you're winning for them. But when you get back home, they don't treat you with that same respect.
I get it.
So how do we have to address these issues? Because one thing leads to the other.
Let me tell you something. I'm hating to go political, but let me go political. Because it's a general political problem worrying Africa. Okay. The reason why I'm saying this, you see, those at home, the leaders, they always don't want to give you that respect. You know why?
No, tell us, please.
The reason is simple.
Okay.
When they give you that respect, they will lose their integrity as leaders, and those at home will start pushing you to come in to occupy that vacuum because you've had that discipline outside. You've had that knowledge. So right now, you know how to manage money. You know how to put money to the right places and the right infrastructure because you've been taught here. But they don't want you to, even sometimes in our country right now, when you have a dual citizenship, there are some political posts you can't even vie for. It's a blockade. Yeah. They trapped you. Don't come in. We don't want you. Because they always want to, how should I say it, fool those who don't know, the masses. They are protecting their hierarchy there. They are protecting their regime.
Now, see, coming to that, the people are people who back home. They think, that's why I was talking about that greener pasture of a thing. They think we're here only for the green pasture. But we are working for the country, but they don't know this. That is why most average of our people back home thinks that money grows on the tree.
Of course.
Or you can just walk in the street and pick money. Because even our leaders fail to give them the clear picture.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Of what is it. And do you know how this is happening? Because if you tell your brother or a friend the exact thing that you're doing right here, they will not believe it.
Of course.
You know why? Because the leaders have given them portrayed another picture of what you are here. And the stigma follows us. That's why some of us, we don't even post the real life we live here.
But let's not be deceived that we are also part of the problem.
Exactly, that's
We
what I'm saying.
contributed. For instance, you travel for a year or two, then you go and pose close to a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. You take a picture, post it on Instagram. What do you think the people will see it as? So you are not even representing yourself well. Not everybody, but the few, you know about this.
Right.
Then, secondly, we also have our common, I don't want to call it enemy, who don't want Mr. Khalid to come in. Right. Because Mr. Khalid coming in is a threat to his post where he is.
Or progress or whatever.
Progress,
Yeah.
you understand? Because, you see, when we come here to learn more, why don't the system at home, Africa, give us the vacuum or pamper us to come build our nation? Yes, you can. I'm not saying you can. You can, but on a individual level, you have to go and start. And let's not pretend or swerve away from this. When you go back to with the expertise, and you go and start building yourself individually, sometimes you survive, sometimes you don't, because most of the system there does not give you the green light to operate.
Okay. Now, see, let's digress a little bit, because you know, you know how we do this radio talk. You know, we try to get informations from one or two persons. You know, their perspective in our topics. That is how we make up our topics and present to people. Now, in the quest of my finding, you know, I find out that some persons are complaining that they are doing a lot enough for the country where they are residing.
Yeah.
And that there is some kind of situation, some kind of system that doesn't even, that the system is not happy enough. Because I've heard this before, that taking money, that the country doesn't let you to send a lot of money back home.
Yeah, it's true. The country you live in.
Exactly. You know why? Economically, you know, in economic terms, I understand that taking money away from the country, it causes also makes the money circulation lesser too. That's true.
Yeah.
That they don't want you to take too much money away
Outside,
from but it
they
is
are
true
losing.
that we need to somehow we left some people behind. When we're here, we work. We have to support some people behind. It's quite understandable.
Yeah.
Now, is there any law? Is there any law? Is there anything wrong or condemns people in diaspora not to stay in connection with their home of origin? Why? Because they're living in someone's country.
So they shouldn't have a connection at
So they
home.
shouldn't have a connection at all. Because it's a problem. I understand that economically. I understand that that you are living in my house. I'm giving you money, and you're taking this money, feeding somebody's in another house. Instead of you using the money that I'm giving you to buy something that will help us in the same house. You know, I put you in the house, for example.
I get you.
You know,
I get you.
let's put in the layman's definition. I put you in my house. I pay you. Instead of you to also at the end of the month bring some money and say, oh, my friend, take this little add to the food stuff or to your rent. No, you take the same money, your own money you make in my house, and go and support someone else. I understand that there's somehow painful. It's somehow,
This is the issue. What are you going to do if your children are at your native land?
It's I mean,
You should take care of
you
them.
left people.
The principle of nature cannot make us respect someone's principle against the principle of nature, because it's supposed to be responsible. Because if they even realize that you're not even taking care of your children at home when you are even irresponsible.
Yeah,
Should be, yeah. Because you are taking care. You should take care of your children at home. You should take care of your wife at home.
Right.
But look at it from this angle too. They know I came from somewhere. Are they pretending to say that I can help people at home? Listen, sometimes we always want to keep with the law. But listen, look at it this way. Who made the law?
There's some bunch of people sat down together and made it, right?
It's the people.
Yeah.
And you should look at your priorities. Okay, I want to help home. Because if you are here, listen, even those who made the law, some of them have natives. They are not. Some of them are not originally. It's not perfectly that all Germans are originally German. It's not possible.
Right.
Some are
Absolutely.
from Poland.
Yeah.
Some are from
Yeah.
this. They also go back home.
Yeah.
So what is wrong if I go back to my native land? And let's not forget, this living in someone's country, you are not only contributing to the person's country, you are contributing to the generational development of that country.
That country. Absolutely.
In a way that you have kids. I have kids, and when they grow
Which is
here,
another generation. Right.
which is a plus to that country.
Right.
You understand? So it's a generational contribution to the country you live in. So there are some things they are much benefiting. Like I say, yes, we might be benefiting individually, but systematically, they are benefiting more in where you are living than your country. But there should be a suggestion on how we should exit these things.
Very well.
Let me give you an example. Sorry, I just want to make this short example. A country like Cuba, whenever they normally provide medical experts to countries.
Right.
And when they provide this medical expert outside, there is some form of memorandum of understanding between Cuba and the country the experts are going. So
Of course,
whatever
they become allies.
Yes.
Become allies. Whatever
Yes.
you do, you become ally. It's
Yeah.
a business. There's a contraption there.
So
There's
that's
a
where
business there.
Africa has lost. We, on the bigger stage, or our government or our rulers, they should sit down and create this kind of, because let me tell you something. Canada, right now, is benefiting hugely from Nigerians in terms of
Whatever they're doing there.
medical field and engineering.
In the USA too.
And US,
US
and US too. Now, when are they going to sit around the table and say, we are not only giving you resources in terms of natural resources, we are giving you human labor. When are we also going to benefit systematically from you people?
Now let me tell you. Okay, let me just jump in there. You said okay, let me just start it this way. I know that there are quite some agencies and some governmental agencies that's been established
Yeah.
to curtail this, topic about Africans in diaspora.
Yeah.
There's agencies that take care of all these stuffs. Now, you understand it quite all right that people in diaspora from whatever country you're coming from,
Yeah.
it's in a psychological sense, it's
yeah.
like I'm giving you labor,
Yeah.
a form of human being. The human being, they work for you. Does that kind of not explain a modern slavery in that sense? Because when they make money, I understand that everything is conceptual business. Yes. If I have a company, I will have employers.
Listen, the reason why I categorize this into two parts: personal level and the governmental or systematical level. On the systematical level, it's a slavery. On the
Right.
personal level, it's not. The reason why I'm saying on the personal level it's not, definition of slavery. work without gaining what you deserve, right? And you are even made to work against your will. You are forcefully. But you and I came ourselves. That's on a personal level. But on a systematical level, because there's no memorandum of understanding, like I issued an example with the Cuba, our government don't sit with them to negotiate. I don't know what makes it difficult. Maybe there are some things we don't know. But if you don't bargain what is due you or what you should get, of course you are a loser, you are the slave. Let me like I inserted an example. When you give expect to countries and you don't sit down and say, okay, we would like to also get like 15% of providing you this laborers, then you sit down aloof because maybe you think, oh, you are just bragging, oh, I have Nigerians are doing this, Ghanaians are doing that. Is that the only happiness you should have?
So if people in diaspora now are complaining bitterly that they are not being treated or not being accorded with respect, in as much as what their input, what they are bringing into the table, what they are getting in return is not matching or it's not measuring that. Who should be held responsible? Is it the country you're living in or the agencies?
You're talking in terms of salary?
Representing.
You're talking of salary or what?
Yeah, and the kind of job and the opportunities. Because, okay, for example, I heard that there was a certain time that they said that if, let me use German for example, if the Caucasians, the origin, the originals,
the indigens,
and you as a visitor from diaspora African, and for example, like the EU, a person from this EU neighboring country are looking for a job, they will first of all consider the indigent, right?
Yeah.
And if it is not for the indigent, then they will consider a member of the EU first before you as an outsider.
Do you blame them?
I don't blame them. But what about if you attain the same qualification they all have?
My brother, listen.
Is there a fairness and equality? Or why is it that ethnicity or indigenous things has to come and play a role there? If it's labor for labor.
Okay. You see, let me tell you something. Don't condemn people for treating themselves well. You should also learn how to treat yourself well. You and I know. I'm from Ghana, you are from Nigeria. Maybe you have the same qualification, I also have the same qualification. Then we apply a job in Nigeria. To be frank with you, you are supposed to be given that job.
First. Right?
First. Yes. But here we are. When an European or an American come into Nigeria with the same qualification, how does Nigeria treat us, the three of us?
I think they will give the European the job first.
Why?
Before you. I don't know. Do they trust me or they don't trust me?
Because
I don't know. Or because
the
inferiority
mindset. It's the mindset. The mindset has been intoxicated against ourselves. So we should learn making our people first priority in terms of welfare. You understand?
Which is not the case.
Which is not the case. So we have to reorient our understanding of how we should treat ourselves. When you don't treat yourself well, nobody will come and teach you how to treat yourself.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. When I first came and I was oriented on what you just said, the indigens, then the Europa, before
another
us,
person that
us. Even that, there are a lot of I can tell you like 3 or 2 people in between that before us.
Yeah.
But look at it this way. Whatever or however they treated us, aren't we the ones who present ourselves that way? We are part of it.
But
yes,
that will be in the case if you're generalizing it, yeah. But if you're talking about it, individually, I would not say yes that we did it ourselves, because there's some persons who present themselves very, very up to the task. While the stigma from the way you come from,
I'm not talking about the individual. like you just
Then
said.
you're generalizing it then.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm talking about the whole picture before that person came in.
Right.
The whole picture was there. The stigma was already there.
Right.
Then now you package yourself well,
Yeah.
right?
So it's like you're fighting against that stigma
But
and still fighting for yourself.
yes, but do not forget, there is a change because you and I and some of our brothers are trying to change it. So our children might not go through that.
that
It
same
might
stress. Still be there somehow.
it might be there somehow, but it might diminish.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's a working process. Look, I don't want to call any race, but there was a time a certain race would not even be allowed in restaurants. Not as Africans. Africa had their time too.
Yeah.
But before us, there were times some race. Today they are the number one in the world. I don't want to mention, but you might know. They are the controllers. What did they do? They put a practical way of changing that stigma,
notion,
and they work towards it fearlessly and bravery. So that's what we need.
So how do you think we can achieve this, and how long do you think we can achieve it? In what generation? In what time of the century?
How to do it? How to change the stigma?
Go about it at all.
How to go about it? It's how we package yourself. How we package ourselves. First, it should start with the mindset. One, the mindset should also pull knowledge and accept knowledge. Listen, we are here, whether we like it or not. We will not be in. We don't have to be in the class to learn. But let me tell you something. Europe in itself is a classroom.
Right.
Europe and the system they put is a classroom. For example, this is what Germany is doing excellently. You know why? Because they don't even want to affect themselves with the kind of orientation some of us came from home. The issue of not seeking knowledge. So when you come, what do they do first?
They blend you in to integrate, first of all, into the system.
How does it start? The language.
The language. You have to.
After the language, where do they take you to?
You continue to school, like do something, some kind of...
So knowledge.
To knowledge. Yeah.
Knowledge, right?
Because you want to know what you can do.
Yes.
If it's handworkly or skills, what did you bring with? Is it a skill or whatever?
So knowledge is the paradigm in which a change can be achieved.
Well, that's well said. Our viewers out there, I don't know if you guys have, following up with what we're talking, which is very, 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 very important things we're talking right now. If you want to contribute to whatever we are saying, please just call in. The number is what you see on your screen. We're talking about Africans and diaspora.
Let me give them the number. If they are in Germany, the number is 01521 956 0010 if you are in Germany.
Right.
But if you are outside, then you should add 0049 1521 59600010.
And call on WhatsApp too. Yeah. You can just call directly on WhatsApp or otherwise.
So you add to, we are not all knowing, we are all learning from each other.
We're all learning from each other. So at this point in time, we're going to go for a short break. And when we come back, we're going to tackle the possible solutions to our various problems. And why is it important that we, or you guys, have people in diaspora? Are we representing or we're not representing? In as much as we are representing, are we supposed, it's just like a soldier on the war front. Mm-hmm. When you come back from a war front, people welcome you with two open arms. Shouldn't be only your parents that welcome you, but you should all know that people in diaspora are like in the war front. And is there some kind of respect that you decide or that you think that should be accorded to people in diaspora? Are they living up to the task? Even in here in diaspora, in the same country that we are living, do we accord some certain respect? Should we be looked in some certain levels because of what we do? Because I knew that there are certain jobs that can never be done by any other race other than African race. Purposely for them. True. But anyway, we're going to leave it right here and we're going to go for a short break. And when we're back, we're just going to dive into this one. Don't go nowhere. Please stay tuned.
Branamu. Yeah, we back on the program. Africans in Diaspora. Yeah. And you can call in and contribute. So we're just having a conversation.
Yeah. So, welcome back. That was a short break.
My sister is celebrating her birthday today, so we can.
Oh,
yes.
Shout out to our sister celebrating.
She's in Germany too, Hajia Medina.
Yeah, she's celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday.
To
Happy
her, yeah.
1 year added to your age. We wish you
all the best.
All the best and age gracefully.
Yeah. And shout out to my wife, Adja Khadija, you know.
Absolutely.
And all our followers. Farida, everybody watching us.
Yeah, everybody watching us. You guys are tremendously doing good. Without you guys,
and remember to share the program too.
So please remember to share, like and share, and subscribe and follow us on our various handles. Yeah, please, you can call in to add to what we have on the plate. So now let's go into this one right now.
Umar Gaza, shout out my soldier.
So
and Rabbi Muhammad.
So we in Diaspora now. Mm-hmm. We in Diaspora now. Mm. I think this we should rise up to say no to certain things. I know that there are some agencies, some organizations that have been constructed, established to tame and to guide, the activities of everyone in Diaspora. Mm. But most of us don't know about all these things. Most of us don't know these things. Most of us don't even know that there's a benefit, because I understand that there should be a benefit of people in Diaspora.
In Germany, these organizations in Germany?
I think there should be. There should be an organization in Germany, but I knew that they had one Diaspora meeting in Brussels. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's in Belgium. Mm-hmm. I know there was one meeting here, but when you look at them, for example, there's a woman who represents people in Diaspora, but I watched one thing that they were speaking one day, and I was like, okay, these guys are clueless. They don't have any clue what is going on here. But we're not going to go into that. I just want to. This topic is something that we just want to see on the real sense and communicate the sense back to our people, so that they don't mistake some things that go out here.
Yeah.
Yes, they have made it a hot cake to be in Diaspora.
Of course.
It's no. I mean, people who came like 20 years ago and above will tell you a different side story of what we are facing today.
Yeah.
We'll tell you a different side story. Now, today, when you tell people, because I am somebody who I'm always up to the truth, I always tell you how it is and no fear or favor. You understand?
Yeah.
I tell people that it is not as easy as you think it is.
Yeah.
But I understand that one thing, and I can tell you, I know there is no way that you will go hungry here. That is guaranteed. You can never starve.
Of course.
I know they will say, oh, there is no food in Africa. Africa is suffering. There is no food. I understand that. But that's the only difference between there and here. Here you can never go starved. But when you're talking about that money, no way we don't pick money from the tree. There is no tree that gives money here. There is no street. I'm telling you, I've lived here decades, years. I've lived here years. I've never walked one day and picked money on the floor, except maybe 1 cent or 2 cents or something. I tell you. But back then in Africa, you can walk and see money on the floor.
There is, I've not cut you, but let me come in. Any society that is able to fulfill its system to make sure that there is something we call the Maslow hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
That is food, shelter, clothing.
The basic amenities.
That's the necessity of human to existence. When you're able to meet that one, you are a great country.
Right.
You are a developed country in a way.
Yeah.
But if you can't, and your children or your citizens have to struggle on what to eat, they have to struggle on what to wear, they have to struggle on where to sleep, then there is a crisis. So this is the difference. Let's not pretend. Sometimes, you see, we Africans don't want much. something little,
Just to be okay, to be comfortable.
just to be okay.
But I think, but if don't be mad at me if I try to disagree on you on that, because
Oh, it's okay to agree.
because
Disagree.
it's no more the way it should be.
I know.
Maybe in time when things were good, but today I tell you the average Africa wants more than it can even wants to have, because because an average African now wants to have more. You know why?
Why?
Because he feels he doesn't know tomorrow. He feels he needs to save for tomorrow. He
Insecurity.
wants to have more to
Insecurity.
keep in insecurity.
The fear of
But an average Westerner
mm,
is the person that I tell you that doesn't want much.
you know why?
He just wants to be comfortable.
You know
That's
why?
all.
You know why? Listen, when you test what poverty is, it's if you don't control yourself, it makes you have some form of fear,
Yeah.
and that fear is not knowing tomorrow, like you said.
That's what I said.
But listen, that European person you are comparing to, from childhood, he knows the offices to go to when he needs shelter.
Right.
He knows the offices to go to when he's jobless.
Absolutely.
He knows the hospital to go to when he's jobless.
Yeah.
But you and I know money is everything in Africa. And we are not even the ones having the money, but it's everything in Africa.
Who started it?
Who started it?
I would say I would point it. I would just, point everything back to the government, because when you're not handling, because I would tell you, when you see that your government, the people who were placed in power in charge to take care of all those basic needs, don't even regard you as anything. They don't even care about you, but only their own. When you grow up, what will you be thinking?
Listen, me normally when we talk of migration, do you know that that's my understanding. 10% migrate from Africa.
Right.
90% escape poverty. So there's migration, there's escape.
That's true.
That's the difference. Because what do you think? Why do you think a youth will see a sea, risk his life, pass through where he's not supposed to pass through, risk his life,
just to leave that country for another
it's either
place.
I make it or die?
Yeah.
That should tell you the depth of how or where we've reached.
And how really that bad is. It's really
Is
that
it?
bad.
So when that person reaches here,
I think we have a caller.
okay,
Let's take this one. Hello, please. Where are you calling from?
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Joyce Oppo. I'm calling from Nuremberg.
All right, thank you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I thank you guys for a very interesting and very important topic you are teaching today.
Thank you.
What I want to say is sometimes the fault comes from us. Because do we see ourselves as Africans, as a brothers and sisters?
Okay.
Because when you come to Europe, I come from Ghana, you come from Nigeria, maybe you don't see me as your brother, as your sister. Because when you compare us to the European or these Eastern countries, these people are like, it doesn't matter where you come from. When you come from Romania or you come from Italian or Spain or what, they still try to bring you in the near. Even when you are working with these people, still they try as much as possible. So if you don't even you can't speak this language or you don't understand, they try to bring you in their side.
Yeah.
For them to teach you to be able to do the work. But look at we the Africans. You come from Nigeria, I come from Ghana, so how can we be sisters or brothers? Even we don't want to talk to ourselves, we don't want to see ourselves. And our own Ghanaian, for example, maybe I come from a different tribe, you come from a different tribe, so I don't see you as my brother or my sister. So it's sometimes the division that brings all these things. So if we didn't come together and stay as a one nation or as a one family, we will continue facing these problems in Europe here. Because these people know they are together.
All
from
right.
beginning up to this time, no matter where they come from.
All
But
right.
we don't
All
see
right, ma.
ourselves. That's
I want
what
to,
we are facing this today.
ma, please, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me just coach. I want to quickly ask you this question. Now,
Mm-hmm.
you have identified the fact that we are not united. Let me just use the word
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
united.
it's the correct way. Yeah.
The question I want to put across to you, because I want you to tell also people out there what
Mm-hmm.
is the reason. Because the first problem is identifying the problem.
Mm-hmm.
When you identify the reason why we are not united, then you can start talking
Mm-hmm.
about the necessary process to amend or solve this problem.
Mm-hmm.
So please, can you tell
Yeah.
us, in your own widest imagination or thoughts, what can you
Mm-hmm.
pinpoint are the reason why you think that we are not even united in the first place?
Because of sometimes, when we are talking about this, if you don't take care, you bring politics in.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
please
you
just
bring
try as
politics
yes,
in.
try as
Because
much as
just
you can.
imagine, I have a gold in my country. I have everything in my country. Why should I come here and beg or come and lie so that these people will allow me to stay here? Because things are not moving on well. So when I come here, I see you as an enemy because if I don't take care where I am, you will come and take my position because me too, I need something to take it back.
So that
That is
means
the
so
problem.
that means
So
in
the
this case
most important, yeah,
so that means in this case we're talking about survival of the fittest here. That means
yeah,
there is a just one plate of food which is meant
mm-hmm.
for maybe one person,
Many people, yeah,
and this one plate of food that's made for one person at the end of the day it becomes a plate of
mm-hmm.
food for 100 people to fight for.
Yeah,
So
mm-hmm.
that, like what my brother here said before, that everything is not served on a platter of gold. So that means we're in a war front.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we're in a war of survival of the fittest, right?
Can I come in?
Mm-hmm.
Can I come in? Can I
Yeah,
contribute? This is the issue.
yeah,
From where you are coming from, I think there is something
mm-hmm.
that fuels the reason why we are at each other as Africans. We have a common color, but we don't have the same mentality, and there is a cause
A
for
lot.
that. You know what caused
Mm-hmm.
it? Can
Yeah,
you suggest what caused that? One, we are brought in a way that we always think we are divided mentally in terms of tribalism. That's
yeah,
one.
True.
Number two, then a certain kind of ideology that came in to us on the African continent is religion.
mm-hmm.
You understand?
Religion.
You
Yeah,
see, when religion is not practiced well, it becomes a problem. If you don't understand what you are doing well, because
mm-hmm.
if you I know you are a Christian, right? I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Muslim. If we have a
Yeah,
misunderstanding in that religion, we don't understand the
mm-hmm.
concept of which we are practicing the religion, we are always going
Mm-hmm.
to get at each other and or against each other. That's why an African will see
Mm-hmm.
each other. They even resemble. Maybe they are family, but
Mm-hmm.
they will be at each other because
Yeah,
of religious difference or tribal difference.
yeah,
And now the modern wicked one is politics.
Right.
These three things are the reason why we are always at each other. So let me give a typical example. When we meet as
mm-hmm.
Ghanaians, the question I hate, let me confess today, the question I hate when Ghanaians meet, they quickly ask, where do you come from? Yes, it's okay to know
Uh-huh.
where it's okay to know I'm from. It's okay. But they go ahead
Yeah,
and say, which tribe are you? My brother, I'm from
uh-huh.
Ghana.
That's already segregation. You're already
They're
trying
trying to know.
to put a
Do you
part,
know what that means? They are trying to measure how they're gonna treat you.
Yeah,
or how they see you as
How they see.
what
And
they want to see you as.
the funny part is,
mm-hmm.
my sister, I don't know. I'm assuming you are in Akan, right?
Yeah,
Even in Akan, they try to know the hometown you are from. Maybe I'm an Akan, you are
yeah.
an Akan. They try to know the hometown you are from. Even that.
You are very right.
You understand? So we are at every point want difference.
Yeah.
See, now listen to this. I had one friend. I have a friend who told me one day very bitterly and very very annoyed. He was very so bitter. I was like, "What is going on?" He said, "There is one thing he hates so much in this country. That anywhere he goes, he said, I'm quite black. You know that I'm quite black.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to still ask me where am I from? Okay,
painful,
I
man.
tell you." He said he hates saying the kind of the particular country he came from. He always tell them, "I come from Africa,"
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because he don't want to take look bad or look bigger than the other part of the Africa or other country. He just tell them he comes from Africa, and he said the painful part is they still want to ask him
Where you are
which country in Africa you
Yeah.
come from. Does it really matter? He asks them, do you want to give me, if I say I'm from Burkina Faso, do you want to treat me better than if I say I'm from Nigeria or from
We're
my...
supposed to change our orientation.
So
Trust
I
me.
think, so madam, with this, I just want to ask you, now, you, as an open-minded person, you have noticed that there is a problem somewhere. What advice,
Yeah.
what suggestion do you want to can you come up with so that we know where we can start, tackling or treating these problems? So what is your suggestion?
What I will say is, I think we have to come together.
How?
First,
How?
united is
In which
very
ways?
important. It doesn't matter which country I come from or which tribe I come from or religion. That is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any right to judge someone. You are a Muslim, I'm a Christian,
That's
you are
it.
Buddhism. So I'm not the one to judge Muslim is not good or Christianity is not good. The one thing we have to have is a common goal. What are we looking for?
As Africans.
But
To
we do,
survive as
but
an
we do,
African.
but we do. If you ask here in Nuremberg or in Germany, some other parts of Germany where we live, if you ask, some people say we do have some organization, African whatever, African youth group, this that. Should we is establishing some group where all Africans can come together and eat and wine and talk about some story? Would that help or?
Yeah, it will help. It's very important. It will help. It will help. Very, very, very important. I think we have to come together and plan one day to meet as whatever Christian, Muslims, Nigerians, whatever part of Africa you come from, so that we can learn something and unite, so that we can be able to stay here in Europe. Because it's not easy. It's only people will see 10 people, but they will still they don't even understand themselves, but they see themselves as one people. So I think when we come together, it doesn't matter. Maybe you don't understand my language, but still, when I see you, oh hello, oh hi, because that is why we were grown in Africa. It doesn't matter whether you know that person or you don't know. So we still greet them. So I think all these things we have to come back to. Sorry to say, our science is no. No matter which country you are coming from, so we are Africans. You can't change it.
Yeah.
So we should come together so that the goal, whatever we are looking for, we can go forward or move forward and do something for Africa also to survive. Because we have rejected ourselves, even in our own country. Look at the way people are suffering, but we have everything. It's because of Africa. That's why Europe and other countries are surviving, but we can't survive. Why?
True.
Because some of them have rejected some of them. So we don't have anywhere. So we come and sell ourselves for these people so that they will help us. But still, we have everything.
All right.
So when we come together and fight for ourselves, we can move forward and we will win.
Yeah.
Very brave talk from
Yeah.
from our caller
Yeah.
today.
So
Yeah, man.
thank you so much.
I want
and
to
have
say,
a nice day.
on behalf of Okodio Radio Station, I want to say thank you for this bravery call and suggestion and opinion of yours. Thank you so much and remain blessed.
Thank
and
you
I
so
hope one
much,
day
you too.
we're going to
Okay.
achieve that unity. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
okay,
calling.
thank you.
Please
Bye.
do have a nice weekend. Thank you. Wow, my brother. There's a problem, The problem doesn't finishes. The problem never ceases to finish in this world.
It's supposed to start with talking like we are doing right now, because
Okay.
every energy or every moment is pushed by words, because somebody is there, we talk and we open the mind of the person. We are not saying when you are a Christian or a Muslim or you are an Igbo or live where you are. No. There is unity in diversity. Let me give you a typical example. When we met for a meeting, staff meeting at Okodio Radio, we came with from different angle.
Yes.
Today, you are from Nigeria. You are hosting an excellent program, right? Which my mind, you understand? Yeah, because listen, it is brave radio stations that discuss this, especially in Diaspora. Right. And we brought this and we're discussing it. Another sister from Ethiopia, I think, she's also hosting another program. So that should tell you there is unity in diversity. We are in the same under the umbrella of Okodie.
With one goal.
With one goal. You understand? So we can also be, it's supposed to be Africa. You understand? But there are a lot of things that has given us a standing block. Like it has blocked our way to seeing the way we should see things.
Now, let me ask you a controversial question. It's just a controversial question. Do you think that uniting ourselves, Africans, uniting Africans in another man's land will not pose a kind of threat to the people's system?
No.
Because let me tell you, I'm a kind of person, I like thinking forth and back. If you come to my house, I give you a place to stay. Then you came and bring a lot of your people. You speak the same language. You talk the same thing. I will be kind of wallowing in fears because I don't know what your multitude want to do. Do you want to overthrow me? Do you want to take? But how can we? How can you leave me? Because I'm. Okay, we have another caller, please. Sorry. Hello, please. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Welcome to Cody Radio Station.
My name is. Thank you very much. This is Professor One from the UK, Birmingham.
Oh, very well, sir. So, please
Yeah.
go ahead. Tell us what you think.
I just switched on to listening to your program.
All right.
I heard the last caller what she was saying.
Okay.
But I've got one or two things to say.
All right. Please go ahead, sir.
All right. This thing started a long time ago. When you go back in history to study the history of Africa, you understand that we have been divided.
By who?
We have been divided by the European influence to Africa in the first place.
Okay.
When you go back and you study carefully, you will know that Africa used to be very united.
Very.
I remember that there was a book that we read. It tells you how people travel from Ghana, go all the way to Mali to do a trade. And Africa was united. It was like one person, not different person. You see your brother, he's your brother. So we were very, very united. Is it until the European influence came in, so they divided us, giving us a borders. That set up the problem in the first place. Now, going forward, we did not. You see that brings about the slave trade and all kind of things happen afterwards.
Yeah.
You see, so this has caused a lot of problem, and Africans, sometimes because of what we are experiencing, our minds are not in a right shape to think, to see the problems we are facing among one another in our own continent.
True.
How to sort it out, we haven't.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we, the ones who has the opportunity to travel outside the country, now we come in with the same mentality. I like the fact that the brother was talking about religious factor and a tribe, where you're coming from and all kind of stuff. Before you would never find this in the history. When Africa never had this problem. Now it is there.
So what do we do?
So what we do? That's the point. In my own opinion, I like the fact that you said Africans should come together, organize a party or a kind of stuff that we can all go and meet one another and understand what's going on. But we have to even speak to our own children, the grassroots now.
Good.
Let them understand the issue. Let them understand that anyone that you see, whether it's as far as a black is your brother, is your sister. In humanity as a whole, we can advise our children to love one another and love everybody. You understand what I mean?
So sorry, sir. If I should understand perfectly what you are trying to insinuate, you are trying to insinuate that the charity should begin from home. Like every individual,
100%.
every person has to go back to the drawing board and start from himself or herself.
From the mentality of the children.
So everybody should start from his house, from himself, to sanitize. To
Exactly.
sensitize.
Exactly. Because if you all train our children for the next 20 years, we will have a different generation with different mindset.
So we should all accept that.
So
we should all accept that it's not going to be. The table cannot turn in our generation, but we should pass it on to the next generation that is coming. Because I think that the problem is also that most of us don't see it anymore. That it's we don't want to accept it anymore. That it cannot be in this generation. Everything can change this way. It's going to take time. So
journey.
probably it's a slow thing. But we should actually start from someday, somewhere, not keep postponing it, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Because the fact is that there must be, what to change something which has been destroyed for a long period of time.
It's not easy.
You have to start from the grassroots, and it takes years and years and years to work towards it. You know, because we didn't have this generation by chance.
Okay.
This civilization we didn't have it by chance. It has been planned for a long period of time, and it's been working towards it.
All right.
That's where we have this kind of supreme mind that we have today. But the same thing, our grassroots, our children that we give birth to, we give them an advice, we make them understand what is going on. Because you have to highlight the problem for the children to understand before you give them the solution.
Okay. Okay.
You
Very well,
understand?
sir. Very well,
But
sir.
for our time now, I would say I understand. I agree with you that Africans should start organizing something.
Okay.
Because the funny thing is, I travel around Africa a bit, right? Couple of years ago, and I find it for amazing holiday I've had is only in Africa. If I come to Germany, go to other places, is for me it's like normal. It's like nothing. But going to Burkina Faso and see their culture, their way of life, is absolutely mind blowing. Same time when I went to Mali, I went to Timbuktu and all these places. It's
That's
absolutely crazy.
that's my hometown though.
This
That's
is
my
what
father's home.
Africa is about.
Yeah.
You understand?
Wow. Very
So
well.
we should try to talk to our children about that, you know, so that when they travel to different countries, they know that these people are my brothers, they are my sisters, they are our neighbors. You understand what I mean? Then African can unite. Our leaders has to be united as well. The political leaders, the gurus, those guys. I don't want to go into this our leaders, otherwise I'll blast them today. I know it's no political show. Brother Aziz,
Yeah.
I think I missed your show the last time. I was going to come on, but I was driving. I couldn't come on that show.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Inshallah, next time, inshallah.
Tomorrow
Anyway,
7 o'clock.
thanks you guys for your great show.
Thank you
Yeah,
for calling
inshallah.
in. Thank you for your brave
No problem. You stay
contribution.
safe.
Thank you so much.
All
Have
the
a
best.
nice weekend. Thank you.
All the best.
Yeah.
All right, cheers. Bye.
Let me continue from where he's from. You see, he's telling us something that has not even crossed our mind. Starting from home, changing the mentality of the children. The children are the seed. So
like
if
you
you
said.
plant them right,
That's what I
they
was
grow
asking
right.
him. Yeah, that's what I was asking him. If that is what he actually mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, before you continue, we have 10 minutes more on our program to go for today. So please do call in if you have something to suggest and if you have one or two things to add. It doesn't matter where you call it from. This is not an African, just
It's an open program.
it's an open program. We're in Diaspora. You can always advise us what to do. It doesn't matter if you're an African or not from African.
Yeah.
We're talking about Diaspora because in as much as we're talking about African Diaspora, anybody is open to contribute to us. If you love Africans, if you love Africans all around the world, if you're not happy with what is going on with Africa, if you stand for inequality, if you stand for everybody to be the same and treated as such, if you stand for inequality, then please don't hesitate to give us your own opinion or what you think. Nobody's above mistake. Everybody, we're learning.
Yeah. True.
Whatever you bring here or contribute here will be accepted and will be appreciated.
Yeah.
So that is it. So please, Aziz.
The issue with the children is very important. Listen, there is this. When I came to Germany, there is something I studied. Sometimes you see our children, the younger ones, they see us, they will be looking at us. This is the case, they think, oh, because of the kind of orientation they were given from home. At a normal time, in Ghana, when your children see my children, they play along, they greet me, uncle, how are you? But this is the case, here in Germany, there are some of our brothers, I don't want to go there, they will tell you, hey, don't mingle yourself with this. Meanwhile, it's part of us, but you don't I don't want to mention it, but
Seriously?
yeah, I know that.
In this
It's-
21st century here.
My people, I know what I'm talking about. I just don't want to
go
get
into
in it. You understand? Because it's not. I don't even want to promote it. It doesn't make sense. Even there are some who are, Africans is not only us. We have our children who are half Africans. But
Okay,
they are,
see, Aziz, let's just run because of time. I just want to quickly ask you this question. Not as a question, but as a suggestion. Can you give us, let's starting from three, let's take three steps to curtail this. Like, just mention for us, because when I'm talking about steps, not that you say we have to do this, we have to do that, but
I get it.
like also the platforms that can help. So please, can you give us at least 3 ways or 3 reasons or 3 steps we can start using?
Listen, right now, there should be a beginning of having an open mind.
How can we actualize that?
We can actualize it is, thank God, what is making this thing fast track right now is social media.
Good. So it's a good thing to start from social media. That's what you're saying.
Social media. Because
Conversing.
right now, since the insertion of social media, I've been on Facebook for almost 12 years. I've had more Nigerian friends, more Cameroonian friends, more Kenyan friends, more South African friends, and even Tanzania. I have about 3 or 4. Because when you start, at first we used to write pen pal, that pen pal on paper from Africa to Europe. Now we don't think of that.
Okay.
We should have actualized that. Hey, you can have a friend from another country in Africa.
So
I'm not saying we should turn our back to our European friends
So one of the mediums you are insinuating is the social media.
Social media. Social media.
Okay. So next, which other points do you have? How we can start up?
For instance, especially the future leaders who are traveling from Africa outside to school, please, when you find yourself on campuses, make sure you become part of because I graduated from Maastricht University, Czech Republic, Brno. We have an African group. Be part of it. We have Egyptians, we have Moroccans, we have Ghanaians, we have Nigerians. You understand?
Establishing of groups.
Groups on campuses. It's also because, listen, we are all boiling down to the Pan-Africanism. You understand? If we don't interact on the continent as Africans,
Talk about matters that are important.
you understand? Think African, be an African, and contribute to Africa. That's it. And we are not against any external force. No, we are all in the global world. But at this point, we should also pay attention home before we enter any, you understand, integration.
All right. So now, having it in mind that you are in another person's country, how easy would that allow you to contribute? If people who are back home are not contributing that immensely, because probably they don't have 1 or 2 access to social media or even enough money to travel to other countries in Africa to socialize and integrate. Which other ways can we?
My brother, look at that.
Should we be begging on some persons?
It's our priority that we are losing as Africans. Let me tell you something. How easy was it to come to build churches in countries we are not from? We achieved that. We build mosques in countries we are not part of. So, but we can't be ourselves and be in a group to socialize as Africans. Can we do that? Well, listen, if religion, Christianity can unite you in the church, Islam can unite you in the mosque, and we can unite ourselves as Africans, it's a matter of priority and the will.
Okay.
And thank God, from this generation and the generation to come will be better. Because right now, you and I sitting here discussing this will tell our children that, look, this is your brother. We are not saying other human beings. No. There's only me. I always have a belief that there's always one race. But the issue is birds with the same feathers flow together.
Very well. So, my brother Aziz, I mean, it's been really a very wonderful one today, and I thank you so much for your immense contribution towards this tackling these issues There are really all vital issues. There's something that is normal. I mean, you cannot just because you live in someone's country and you throw away your heritage or neglect your home.
Of course, you lose respect.
If you're outside and rain is falling, you always think of your home too. After the rain, you want to go home too.
Of course.
You want to go back to your home because probably you have a pot of soup which is still on the fire or which needs to be warm. So I think in as much as we're in diaspora, we shouldn't also forget where we're from. In as much as some people have dual citizenship or the country where we are has contributed to the success of our life big time.
Yeah.
It's not that we are kicking them with a back foot. No. It's just that
We are paying attention.
we
to
cannot
ourselves.
be we still cannot be who we want to be if the other part of our body is not functioning. If home is good, I know that my parents are fine, everybody at home is okay, I will face you, my boss at work, with a happy face.
Of course.
But if I know that my home is on fire,
You even lose me.
I come to work the next day, you will not see me smiling.
Yeah. Later, you even lose me. I can, after frustration, I can
You
go out.
understand? You understand? I can even lose the job, or you don't even can see me no more. So I think it's this whole thing, in my own way, my own humble opinion, is vice versa. The country we live in should also try to understand that everything in our home is not good. They should also accord us some one or two, priorities too. Like give us that understanding spirit that you understand what we're going through.
My brother, let me tell you something. Nobody will handle to you what you deserve in life.
Right.
You have to go for it.
I know.
Let me give you a typical example. In America, right, we have the Mexican community. They do things according to their culture. All these lands you see, Germany respects people's culture. The only thing they demand from you is to know your affairs.
Yeah.
That will not be disturbing
Like
their...
to whom much is given, much is also expected from. Absolutely.
So you have to organize yourselves. Why are the Turkai having festivities when it is time? And they are being respected. And they even come to national news in Germany. Because they unite. And they are not disturbing anybody's peace in Germany.
But do you think this whole thing is also on a political level? Because if our political, counterparts are also representing us very well, then we won't also have a problem. But I'm going to leave that for the next day because we would like to affiliate this to the job our political agencies are supposed to be doing or not doing right. We'll affiliate that in our next program of days. But for today, let's draw the curtain right here. We don't need to talk too much. The message is being passed. The few that caught what with the message content is have understood it, and there is a way forward.
Yeah.
Let's just keep doing the right thing and always hope for the best. To whom much is given, much is expected from. It's garbage in and garbage out. When you give in, it's what you get. So, on today's episode of Matters Arising, we talked about Africans diaspora. In our next episode, we'll be affiliating it to the responsible agencies, the people who are responsible to help, because that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. There are people who were handed this job. Because you as a father, you are the head of the family, you have a responsibility. There are some persons who put you in a position and say, okay, I will be responsible to give you advice when you go wrong. You can come and meet me when you don't understand this. You can do this, you can do that. So we should hold some persons accountable for some things that are not it. And maybe they can change and try to do some things the other way around. So please, what is going to be your last word out there to our persons before we give it a roundup?
My last word is that as African, wherever you are, seek knowledge and present yourself well and represent your country, because that's where respect comes from. When you have respect, you win.
Okay. So, saying that, do you actually means also in every affairs or
in anything that contributes to
that gives you the good name,
your
that brings
image,
a good name, right?
In terms of knowledge, in terms of socializing to learn. Knowledge doesn't only come from class.
Right.
It comes from learning from other race, learning from other group of people. These are things you should put yourself in, because we can't only have it from Africa without learning, and they can't. That's why civilization came from Africa,
Right.
because they travel and saw the civilization, and now they package it and they are bringing it back to us.
Absolutely.
So when we travel, we should learn.
No problem.
And with
So,
respect for ourselves.
we're going to draw the curtain of the program today. Please, Aziz, can you give me that plug and just put it here, and let's just leave for our listeners something for going. The plug that you dropped on the floor there? Yeah, for this one. Just put it right here. Okay. So, we can just leave something for our listeners. All right, it's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for being a part of our program today. On behalf of Okori Radio Station, we say thank you and thank you and thank you, and God bless you. Do have a pleasant weekend until we meet again. Thank you so much, and I'm going to leave you with this song, though we don't have a copyright for it. Facebook, YouTube, all the medias, please just accept and allow us on this track just for fun.
Girl, you want me number one desire, like a fire. Girl, you want me